Facts and communications are the currency of dispute resolutions and litigation. In the past, the explosion of electronic data had created immense challenges for attorneys by causing an oversaturation of information, making it very time-consuming and expensive to locate relevant facts.
There are a great many issues in trying to identify probative, important information used in litigation. In the past, evidence was on paper, well-defined in places that were well-known. The trend over the last few decades is more ephemeral data, things that were no longer tangible. Perhaps these documents only exist in an electronic form and were never printed. What might have been in the past found in a filing cabinet of contracts is now today maybe on a server or in a cloud in some process machine. It's a difficult challenge for the attorney to identify, I need documents to present a set of facts, but they're no longer in well-known locations. What are the sorts of information attorneys need to find? The facts that can be used as evidence, which may be distributed in different forms of media. That can be widely distributed on systems you no longer control. It could be in the cloud, it could be on your personal phone. The attorneys want to identify and find the facts in this world of postings on websites and social network communications. So the oversaturation of information leads to a point where you can be involved in a dispute that requires a disproportionate amount of information and data to be parsed through your attorneys. That takes time. That time takes an incredible amount of money. You may not be able to afford to engage in the resolution of this dispute or prevail even when the facts are on your side.
Using today's technology, attorneys and investigators can identify all of your data sources and quickly sort and filter them to create a fact-based story which supports or defends your claim or dispute. This is known as eDiscovery.
eDiscovery is really just modern-day discovery, and discovery has been with us for 100 years. It's part of our legal system. It's baked into how we resolve disputes. It's really the swapping of facts. eDiscovery is different because there's been an explosion in information. It used to be facts were maybe 10 or 15 pieces of paper. Now it's thousands or millions of documents, texts, social media, events. We became overwhelmed with all these facts, and eDiscovery is really the movement from paper to scanned paper because there was too much of it on a computer, and now it's just computer to computer. We take the information from one computer, put it into discovery technology computers, search it, find it, and identify what's probative, what's relevant to the dispute at hand. eDiscovery has leveled the playing field because we don't have to pay lawyers to be data miners. We allow the technology to isolate sets of data, patterns of behavior, which is what we now litigate on. eDiscovery has made litigation and dispute resolution affordable to anyone.
Managing the document review and production process without eDiscovery software is quite challenging. One advantage of using eDiscovery software is that the documents themselves, once loaded into the system, are protected from further modification. One can review them and then ultimately produce them with confidence that what is being produced to the requesting party is in fact a faithful rendition of what was actually collected during the eDiscovery process.
Your digital fingerprints are everywhere. Nothing is truly deleted. Anything can and will be used against you in a court of law, which is why it is important to be aware of what you put out into the digital universe.
The digital fingerprint for a person is related to their patterns of behavior when they're using electronic media. This isn't just your social media or your email, it's every interaction you have with something electronic. This might include, for instance, when you're at the checkout stand, an electronic cash register, your patterns of payments on a card, the type of things you might say or the frequency, how you browse, etc., etc. So the reason you should care about your digital fingerprint being out there is it does reflect a pattern of you. In essence, this fingerprint that's being created is like your digital biography, and it's persistent. One of the most common misperceptions that we see is people believe that a transaction happens and then it's gone. But the reality is these transactions, everything's happening, are being stored permanently. It's more like having a digital tattoo, if you will. And this is specifically important because it's open to interpretation. Okay? Context matters. So your digital fingerprint and the things you say today may crop up in the future in a context you'll have to explain. If you're not aware that you're doing this, or you don't manage that carefully, you can create situations for yourself which become problematic in the future.
Our legal system isn't perfect, but our process strives to build more perfect outcomes, which is why Digital WarRoom fights to ensure that regardless of budget, all parties have access to justice. Digital WarRoom takes pride in making sure that every action is being utilized to secure a just, speedy, and inexpensive determination.
The mission of Digital WarRoom is simple. It is fast, inexpensive, and just dispute resolution. Everybody has disputes. The idea is to make those disputes as inexpensive and non-contentious as possible.
We use procedures. We use checklists based upon tens of thousands of cases of experience and a deep understanding of the constantly evolving law and procedures specific to eDiscovery. This allows the client and the attorney to focus on the facts of the dispute, while we as eDiscovery professionals follow a discipline and finding the materials proportionate to the requirements of the case, the needs of the dispute. Bring that to the attorneys. That's what Digital WarRoom brings to the table.
The Digital WarRoom software is a complete, easy-to-use, robust eDiscovery solution. It has really been beneficial to me and my practice.
My goal with the tools was to hide the complexity of the process by drawing on our experience and to make it a palatable process for the attorneys so that they can focus on the meaningful work. The Digital WarRoom technology, it's my belief that we're better off to create something like an ice pick, which actually serves a very specific purpose, than attempting to have some silly Swiss Army knife that doesn't work.
We've created a culture of trust and inclusion. We've grown organically. We're a family-based business, and we communicate those values not only to our employees, but really to include our customers as part of this family. What's important is we deliver quality service to our clients because they rely on us to prevail.
Just, speedy, inexpensive. Visit our website today.